Hello there, you're welcome to another tutorial on SC where we're going to mix this Afrobeat vocal from scratch. You can always check the chapters in the description so you can skip to the part that you feel is most important to you. But if you want to watch the whole thing, I'm sure you have something to learn from each chapter of this tutorial. So if you're new, you know what to do, hit the subscribe button and let's get started. All right, so right here we have our vocal. Let's play it and listen. This is unmixed, right? Unprocessed, no effects whatsoever running through it, raw recorded, right? Produced by me, and the artist's name is Melody. Let's listen.
Give you my heart, though. I know they lie, every time, oh, you take my mind, oh, I no deny, baby girl, you dey do me funny. Let me say you want be my honey, wanna lie you do for the money. All your friends see the busy body. Let me say the corona for me. Wanna like to do me funny for money. Why, oh, don't my love? You made me a fool in love. You want make I go polo. Oh, oh, oh. I want no more part of this. I just want my son to say, oh, yeah.
So, before we get started, I want to let you know that I do offer one-on-one private lessons where I teach people like you via Zoom how to make much better music within 4 to 6 weeks, and you'll be on your way to making really good professional quality music. All you have to do is click the link in the description below and fill up a form, right, that says students form, and I'm going to get back to you promptly. And please understand that these private lessons are not free, right? You're going to have to pay some money, and of course you're going to get way more value than you pay for. The students who are enrolled on this program are already seeing amazing results within their first few classes. So why don't you join in on this program? Don't forget to click the link in the description below that says students form to fill it up, and I'll get back to you promptly. So let's get back to today's tutorial. What we're going to start to do first, right, is we're going to actually try to gain stage before we even try to do anything, okay? We're going to listen again, try to get the levels sounding good.
You take my mind, oh, I no deny.
Let me turn down the beat just a little bit, okay?
You take my mind, oh, I no deny. Baby girl, you dey do me funny. Let me say you want be my honey, wanna lie you do for the money.
All right, this is a good start. Then I'm going to select all of this and create some more headroom by taking both rights respectively down by just highlighting both and taking it down. I've created some headroom. Okay, there's no definite number that I can recommend to you, but just leave a decent level, okay? And if it doesn't sound as loud anymore, you can always increase the volume of your headphone or of your studio monitor from your audio interface, okay? I want to make sure that this limiter right here is turned off. You don't want any processing on your master channel, at least for now. Now we've created headroom. What we're going to start with next is to make sure the vocal is well tuned, okay? I'm going to use Autotune Pro for that. Autotune, yes. And the key for this vocal is C major. Since it's a low male vocal, right? And then we're going to adjust the retune speed. This is how fast the Autotune is going to work, right? Let's leave it at 12 because that was mostly on key, and that is wanted a natural vocal. It's important you discuss with the artist to know how much Autotune or how much effects they want on their vocal so that you don't overdo it or underdo it, okay? And we're going to adjust the flex tune so it sounds a bit more natural, okay? Let's say somewhere around here, and then we'll listen. If it doesn't sound good, we can always adjust it. Let's listen.
Give you my heart, though. I know they lie, every time, oh, you take my mind, oh.
I think that sounds good. So the next we're going to do is we're going to compress the vocal, okay? I'm going to use a stock compressor, which is FL Studio's compressor, right? And we're going to just, let's see how we can get the threshold just somewhere around here for a start, right? And then let's say the ratio about 4 Let's see about 4 or 5. Let's leave somewhere around here, and then we'll listen. But first, let's make a fast attack, and then let's listen and see how it sounds. Now we have to compensate the loudness level, so we increase the gain a little bit and see.
I gave you my heart, though. I know they lie. Every time, oh, you're in my mind, oh. I know deny, my love. You made me a fool.
Now I want you to see what just happened with the compressor, right? Without the compressor, observe how this place sounds.
Why, oh, though, my love. You made me a fool.
And with the compressor,
Why, oh, though, my love. You made me a fool in love.
you see, this is why compression is still very important, but make sure you do not overdo it that it sounds overly squashed, okay? So the next thing we want to add a little bit of character with a third-party plugin. I'm going to use Wave CLA76 stereo for that, all right? Because this is a fast compressor, it's punchy and it's warm, okay? Let's see how it sounds.
I lie you there for the money. All your friends see the busy body. Let me set the corona for me. But I like to do me conny for money. Why, oh, though, my love.
Right. I'm not going to do anything special to it. I just wanted to have that texture, that warmth from the compressor, okay? So the next one we're going to do is we're going to have an EQ now. Now we can EQ our vocal. And the reason why I chose to EQ after the compression was that typically compression is going to make all the levels come up, right? So you can even make the bass more enhanced than it normally is. So the EQ is going to help me have a final control over how much bass I want on the vocal, okay? So now I'm just going to use this type. I want a high pass, right, order. I want step 8, right? Let's say about 100 hertz. Let's see how it sounds.
I lie you there for the money. All your friends see the busy body. Let me set the corona for me. But I like to do me conny for money.
Now it's time to take out the resonant frequencies from the mid range, all right? So let's see somewhere around here. We'll listen and then we'll take them out, okay?
I lie you there for the money. All your friends see the busy body. Let me set the corona for me. But I like to do me conny for money. Why, oh, though, my love. You made me a fool in love. You want me to go colo. Oh, oh, oh. I want no more part of this. I just want my son to say, oh, I lie you there for the money. All your friends see the busy body. Let me set the corona for me. But I like to do me conny.
When you're EQing your vocals or compressing your vocals, please don't do it in isolation. You also always make sure it's relative to the beat, okay? Because it may sound good in isolation, but it may not sound as good when it's being played with the beat, okay? So you want to always make sure it's together with the beat, all right? So the next thing we want to do is we want to clean up the vocal a little bit because when we added the compression, right, it brought out a little bit of the mouth clicking, that is the mouth noises, right? And it brought in some breathing also. So let's see if we can listen to some and try to take them out.
I know they I gave you my heart, though. I know they lie. My heart, though. I know they
You can hear that, like the mouth noise, and we want to take that out, okay? So we're going to use a debret from Isotope RX, one of my favorites at the moment, right? We use a debret and a mouse declick, okay? So here is a breath control, right? And we don't want it to overdo it. We just want it to sound a bit more natural, okay? And then we're going to also use a mouse declick, right? Let's see mouse declick. Here it is. So you don't need to touch anything with your mouse declick. It works automatically, okay? And then let's listen and see if it sounds better.
my heart, though. I know they lie. Every time, oh, you're in my mind, oh. I no deny, baby girl, little to me, conny. Tell me say you won't be my honey, but I lie you there for the money.
Now it sounds so much cleaner right now. At the same time, it still sounds natural. You can still hear a little bit of the breath here and there, but it doesn't sound emphasized. It sounds way more reduced and controlled. All right. So let's hear how it sounds with the beats.
Madam, my limiter, da 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 da, touch it be mine, oh. I gave you my heart, oh. I know they lie, oh. Every time, oh, you in my mind, oh.
So what we're going to add next is a plugin, right, that spices up our vocal even more, right? It's a mixing rack, virtual mixing rack, right, from Slate Digital. All right. So let's have this in here. And there's a preset in it that I really, really like, which is the vocal airy or airy vocals. There's 1 and 2, but let's see how 2 sounds.
Madam, my limiter, da 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 da, touch it be mine, oh. I gave you my heart, oh. I know they lie, oh. Every time, oh, you in my mind, oh.
Now, just this preset already adds some brightness, but at the same time, I added some harshness that I do not like into it, and also overemphasized a bit of the low mid frequencies. So we're going to look at the EQ right here, right, and try to reduce some of the low end frequencies before we deal with the harshness. So let's see what we can do about it.
Madam, my limiter, da 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 da, touch it be mine, oh. I gave you my heart, oh. I know they lie, oh. Every time, oh, you in my mind, oh. I no deny, yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby girl, you do me funny. Let me say you won't be my honey.
Now it doesn't sound as boxy as it sounded, right? So now let's deal with the harshness, okay? The harshness mostly comes from this revival plugin, which is a saturator plugin, right? So let's see how we can control that.
Madam, my limiter, da 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 da, touch it be mine, oh. I gave you my heart, oh. I know they lie, oh. Every time, oh, you in my mind, oh. I no deny, yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby girl, you do me funny. Let me say you won't be my honey. When I lie you do for the money. All your friends see the busy body. Let me say the corona for me.
Now it sounds better, right? But at the same time, when we add effects, we have to make sure that we're gain staging, okay? We're always continuously adjusting the gain to compensate for the difference in levels, okay?
Madam, my limiter, da 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 da, touch it be mine, oh. I gave you my heart, oh. I know they lie, oh.
So now we're going to add a de-esser, right, to help us control the sibilance and some little bit of the harshness that is still left, all right? So we're going to use, also using Isotope RX de-esser, right? So let's see how it sounds.
Madam, my limiter, da 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 da, touch it be mine, oh. I gave you my heart, oh. I know they lie, oh. Every time, oh, you in my mind, oh. I no deny, yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby girl, you do me funny. Let me say you won't be my honey. When I lie you do for the money. All your friends see the busy body. Let me say the corona for me. When I like to do me funny. From money. Why, oh, yo, my love. You made me a fool in love. You want me to go polo. Oh, oh, oh. I want no more part of this. I just want my son to say, oh, yeah.
Let's reduce the de-essing a bit. It's a bit too much.
You want me to go polo. Oh, oh, oh. I want no more part of this. I just want my son to say, oh, yeah.
Always remember, you don't want to overdo your effects, okay? You want to be moderate and at the same time be effective, all right? So next, we're going to add reverb to put it in a space, okay? Because now our vocal sounds crispy, it sounds clear, it sounds sitting properly on the beat, but we need to give it space to exist, okay? So now for this, I'll recommend you use a reverb calculator. Okay, you can Google it. It's a free. There are free resources online, you can check for reverb times for your tempo, right? For example, this is 114 BPM, okay? So when I use the reverb calculator for this, right, it showed that for the large room, I typically use either large room, right, or room reverb, right? And it shows I could get away with using my delay at 31 or 32 milliseconds, right? Let's see if we can get in there. Let's type in value. Let's say this is 26, so let's say 32. We just type in values. CFL Studio is a bit tricky trying to get the levels in there. So let's leave it at 31. That is the closest we can get to. Then our decay will be about 2.1 seconds. Okay. Let's see 2.1. You can see the info at the top left of your screen. Let's see. Yeah, we can get up to 2.1. All right. So we want to take out this bass. We don't want much bass. And the low cut is this low cut and high cut means the frequency range that your reverb is going to work on. So we're going to take our low cut, let's say to the higher mid range, let's say about 600 or 700 hertz, right? And extend it to about, let's say 4.5 kilohertz. That is the high mids as well. So let's hear how it sounds. Then we increase the room size and then turn down the wet a bit, right? We want to reduce the wet. So let's say somewhere around here and see how it sounds. I gave you my heart, though. I know they lie, every time, you in my mind, I nothing gonna like to do me funny, from money, why, though, my love, you made me a fool in love, you want me talk. All right, I think this reverb sounds good, all right? It sounds good at the moment, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to spice it up a little bit by spreading the reverb with this stereo separation tool right here. Let's just move around here and see how it sounds. I gave you my heart, though. I know they lie, every time, you in my mind, So now that we're done mixing, let's see how it sounds before and after. Does it sound better or does it sound worse? This is how it sounds unmixed. Every time, you in my mind, I know deny, baby girl, you do me funny. Let me say you want me my honey, wanna lie you for the money. And this is how it sounds mixed. Every time, you in my mind, I know deny, baby girl, you do me funny. Let me say you want me my honey, wanna lie you for the money. So this is how I typically mix for my clients, all right? This is my typical mix change. Sometimes it may change a little bit, depends on the conditions, okay, and the expectations of the client, all right? But most times this is how I do my mixing, right? So if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to leave me with a thumbs up so other people that need this video can easily find it in their recommendations, and subscribe for more tutorials, all right? See you soon. Cheers.